And I know many of you have many questions for me. So I'm live both on TikTok and Instagram and a couple of other formats. And so I'll start answering questions very shortly. But really, first, I just wanted to discuss this topic, because this is like the number one question I get asked in consultations. Sometimes they don't ask me, to be honest, this question in consultations because I already answer it for them. Once I have a consultation with someone, they usually already know, okay, this is the person I need to hire. This is why I need to hire her. So, but in case you're still having any questions or want to know, why do people really hire an immigration lawyer? First of all, immigration law is not just forms. It's not just forms. And the way you know that is because in the last few years, last few administrations, starting with Clinton and then Obama uh, and then Trump, and then now with the Biden administration, you see that immigration is becoming such a big, hot topic. The average person at least knows a little bit more about immigration than they used to, like even just 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And so, in other words, it's a very highly regulated field. Lots of new laws every year. As an immigration lawyer, we really have to stay on top of things. We have to keep our knowledge up on our saving, sometimes a daily basis. And then there's case law, of course, that keeps changing for immigration. And there's just so many different facets of immigration. There's employment based, if like an employer is petitioning for you. There's family based, like if your family member is petitioning for you. There's humanitarian things like VAWA, like U visas, like human trafficking visas. And so it's just so vast. So that right there should answer your question. Like, first of all, why you should hire a lawyer most times in most applications, because it's just more difficult now than it used to be. Now, when I first came to America many years ago, I won't tell you how long it was, but it was a long time ago. I came as a kid. Let me just put it like that. I was really young, and I came through my mom. Back in that day, don't you know, people used to apply for a green card and get it like within 2 months. You would have applied for a green card and maybe get it 2-3 months back when I first came to America. But now most green card applications, you have to wait quite some time, more than a year, sometimes more than 2 years to get a green card. Like, the system has changed so much. So what used to be so easy to get in the immigration setting is now much harder. There's no more forms to file. There's more arguments you might have to make as to why you qualify. There's just so much more. But I want to summarize why why people hire me, at least me specifically, Val Queen, dancing lawyer. I want to summarize it with this story I had. This story that happened. What happened to me yesterday? So yesterday I had a consultation here physically. So most of my consultations are online or over the phone. But once in a while, there's people who want to come physically see me. They want to make sure I'm not a fraudster. I'm not that I do exist, that I'm real. And they want to see kind of like the office environment, like am I really here? So this guy showed up for the consultation. Kid you not, he was an elderly man, much older than me. Okay, so he was much older than me. And I welcomed him into the consultation, and I said, hey, how are you doing? And he says, great, and we begin the consultation. But he just had this weird look on his face all the way through. He kept looking at me so strangely. And long story short, the consultation took, I think it was a total of about an hour and a half, and my consultations are usually 30 minutes. But I took my time with him because, first of all, he had a very particular situation. He had some documents that were considered fraudulent by USCIS, and he was from Nigeria. But also how he was offering, or how he was thinking of fixing it, was very different than what normally most people want to do. So long story short, I went through the option of what he was trying to do. And I told him why I don't think that you should do that. And I told him, look, if I were you, this is what I would do. It'll cost you a little bit more time. And you may lose some of the time you've already used. He's been on this journey for 4 years. And I told him, this is why I think you need to do this, and this. And I told him, I said, and also I even gave him more additional options. And I said, based on the fact that you and your spouse got married in this particular state, I will not mention this state may have an exception to the rule. under this state law, you may be able to still adjust your status through VAWA in a new application. Because remember, he's already been denied for VAWA when he's coming to me. So if we file a new application, this particular state where you guys got married may have an exception that may allow us to still be able to adjust your status with what you have. And I told him why. Okay. And then I referred him. I told him, look, these are some lawyers. This is where you can go and find a lawyer in your particular state, okay, to handle that particular issue. And then once that's handled, come back to me. Well, the point of the story is just what he said to me at the end. He just said, wow, VAWA Queen, wow. Remember, this man is he's probably like 30, 40 years older than me. He's an elder man. At least that's what I could see. I could tell from looking at him. And he just kept saying, wow, VAWA Queen, wow, you're very thorough. He kept saying, you're very thorough. So I was shocked. I said, well, aren't all lawyers thorough? I mean, aren't all lawyers supposed to be thorough with you? He said, no, not all lawyers are thorough. He said, no, you're the first person that really gave me detailed solutions and why this may work. And if this doesn't work, this is what we're going to do. And this is your other option. And so, that really lifted my spirits. And I wanted to share that with y'all. The reason why our brand has become the VAWA Queen brand, the Dancing Lawyer brand, the reason why our brand has excelled for so long, to be honest with you, is just because of that. It's just because I am so thorough, and I try to be very thorough with every client, and I try to pass this thing down to every single person that works with us. I try to tell them, cross your T's, cross your I's, check this, check that, double check this. Is this really going to work? If this doesn't work, what are we going to do? If this doesn't work out, this is what we're going to tell our client. So I communicate to the T with all of my clients, and also communicate that exact same way with my staff. And I tell them, this is why we do this. This is why we don't do this when I'm training my staff. This is why we do this application this way, because if we do it this way, this means this. If we miss this document, this will cost the client this and this. This is exactly how I train also my staff. And so no wonder when you see our testimonies, some of you guys get our testimonies, you get our testimonials emailed to you. You'll see people saying, wow, what an awesome team, what a thorough team. They always answer every question I have. They know what they're doing. They're very thorough. You'll see people say that even about my team, because I really try to push this same mindset to my staff. Okay, so you want to hire a lawyer, in summary, that gives you not just your options, but is thorough with you. Like if you have a question, you always want to know your person, the person who is your lawyer is going to answer your questions thoroughly. And that they're going to answer in a gracious way, but in a thorough way. And when I'm answering questions, by the way, let me just throw this out there. I don't mix words. So if my client is in trouble, or if we're going to have an issue, I tell you, this is a big issue. And man, you kind of really messed up here, because now this is what this is going to cost. I mean, I tell it directly to you. I take it to you straight up, so that there's no doubt in your mind. You're not walking up in la la land. You're not thinking that this case or this issue is a small issue when it's a big issue. Okay, or I just make sure, in other words, that my clients understand realistically, this is how our case is looking. These are the problems we're going to have because of this, and this. And this is where, or how I think we can fix it. And this is our chances of winning. So with every lawyer you go to, even if it's not me, you really, really want to make sure you understand, can this lawyer help me? How is this lawyer going to help me? And what are my chances of winning? And those are three things I really, really try to really communicate on every single consultation. And so back to that gentleman, that elderly man, I just saw him, how he looked at me up and down when he came in. And maybe I'm looking young, so I think he's thinking to himself, like, did I make the right move? He flew in, from a different state. He was flowing. I think he flew in from, well, let me not say where he flew in, but he flew in from far. So he's probably thinking like, why did I flow in to see this young woman handling my case? But by the time I got through with him, he said, wow, he just kept saying, thank you, Val Queen. You're so very thorough. You're so very thorough. You're so very thorough. And again, of course, remember I asked him, so, I mean, aren't all lawyers thorough? He said, no, not all lawyers are thorough. And that to me was sad, to be honest with you. Because to me, from how I remember law school, they taught every one of us to be this thorough. And from how I remember going to law school, like you couldn't pass the bar without being thorough. You had to analyze every issue to a T. So when he told me that other lawyers aren't that way, I just didn't have really anything to say, because to me, from what I can remember, law school was hell. And we had to be very, very thorough. Those exams were no joke. All right, without further ado, I'll stop there. Let me start taking these questions. First, I'll start with IG. Hello. Remember, I take one question usually, just one question from one person at a time. And if it's something that I feel you need to schedule a consultation for me to answer, I will tell you. Hello. How are you doing? Question. Yes.
If you have WAWA file, if someone have a WAWA file and they get married overseas, and that is just a religious marriage or a traditional marriage, not a U.S.
marriage, yeah.
U.S. marriage.
Yeah.
Does that nullify their WAWA case in U.S.?
No, it depends. It depends on whether your government recognizes the marriage. So as long as your home government recognizes that marriage and you have documentation to show that, you're good.
So to be clear, a marriage...
As long as your government recognizes that marriage, then America recognizes it too.
Okay, so to be clear, if a foreign country recognizes a marriage, then that is a marriage according to U.S. Constitution, as U.S. rules or laws as well, and that will nullify the WAWA in the U.S. then?
No, that doesn't nullify. That will... Can you tell me the context? I think that will make you be able to have a VAWA case. Not nullify means counsel.
If someone have a WAWA.
Okay, sir, I'm being very clear. Let me just say one more time very clearly. Just listen now. You will get it. If you got married in your home country, and in your home country, and maybe you used a ceremony that's non-legal or something, but it is recognized, fully legal and fully recognized in your home country, and you have documentation to show that your home country recognizes it, then America will also recognize it. So they go according to your government, as long as you can prove your government recognizes it. Okay? If you need a consultation, just call my office.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye. All right, that was a good question. Hope y'all got that. All right, let me take the next two questions, and then I'll take two questions from TikTok, and then I'm out of here. Hello?
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, I have a question.
Yes.
If you're yet to file a 10-year green card because of some marital issue, and the only way that you can move forward is divorce, does it affect your application if you have proof of a bona fide relationship and marriage and there's a kid involved?
Okay. Can you say it more clearly? If you're having issues,
if you are yet to file, you have a 2-year green card,
okay,
conditional green card, and you're yet to file for your 10-year green card, but the marital issues is stopping you from filing that 10-year green card. Let's say your spouse refused signing your package, and the only way you could go due to you cannot prove any domestic violence or abuse, you can't prove that. Is divorce going to...
Yeah, divorce can work.
A good option.
Divorce can work, but don't knock out VAWA because you don't know if you qualify without talking to me. I would say you need to give me a call, and I'll look into both options for you.
Okay.
Okay? Just give me a call.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye. Hello? I don't know who
Hi, Queen.
How are you doing?
Good.
How can I help?
Question. What happens if the mails keep going back to USCIS and cannot be delivered?
The mails
Is it the case?
keep going back to USCIS and cannot be delivered. You need to call them and get that clarified, or give them a different number, or give them a different address.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long does it take to get a work permit when you file your VAWA? It's been a year now.
Okay, so just FYI, you normally only answer one question, but I'll answer this for you just as a courtesy. It takes about 6 months usually, or more.
Okay, thank you. It's been a year.
Okay. So call my office and schedule a consultation, maybe. Okay.
All right, thank you, Queen.
Guys, let me move this camera a bit. Let me see. I don't know if it'll be, yeah. We have more light. Okay, great. Let's take some more. Hello, hello, hello. 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 Someone on TikTok says, can I ask a question? Yes, you can come live typically and ask the question. Yeah, you can ask a question outside of VAWA, provided I know it, I'll answer it. And provided it's not a consultation question, I'll answer it. Okay, so I'll take these 3. Guys, I always like to advise what time I'm leaving. So it's 11 o'clock now. I'll be leaving here in the next probably 5 to 10 minutes. So 11:05, 11:10, I'll be wrapping it up. Hello.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. How can I help you?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, I've gone for interview with my spouse since May 7th.
Okay.
And up till now, I've not heard from them. My status says they're actively being reviewed. I don't know, do I have to wait for 6 months after my interview before I can do a follow-up with USCIS or what? I just need an advice.
No, of course not. You can follow up with them anytime you'd like. But all I can tell you is that right now things take time. And honestly, I don't know when it will be. So if that's your next question, I don't know when you'll get your green card.
Okay, but can you do you do follow-up for
I wish.
Do follow-up for me?
I wish, but we are so busy, to be honest, I stopped taking those cases. I just only do, because it takes too much time to follow up on those, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care. I wish you the best, and it's going to come, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right. Okay, so you can come live to ask a question. Let me see here on TikTok. Okay, I'll finish with TikTok last. Let me just do this. Yes, we do asylum cases. Thank you. That's a really good question. Let me explain what we do here. So immigration is very thorough. I told you some people do employment-based cases where employees petitioning for you, but we only do the following cases. We do adjustment of status through a family member. We do family-based adjustment of status. That is the process of getting a green card here in the U.S. through a family member. We also do adjustment of status through VAWA. That's the opposite of adjustment of status to marriage, okay? With VAWA, this is based on problems in the marriage, toxicity, abuse, craziness in the marriage. We help people who have gone through that at the hands of a U.S. citizen or green card holder file for themselves and obtain a green card based on VAWA. Okay, VAWA also applies to parents who have been abused by an adult child who's over 21 or an adult in-law who's over 21, etc. That VAWA also applies to, in other words, parents elderly parents who may be abused or denied Medicare, denied medical access, denied access to other people, denied access to the world, really, at the hands of their U.S. citizen adult child. Okay. I see some people answering questions for others. Please, I always say, do not listen to anyone who's not a lawyer. So I just say that. So I don't know who's answering these questions, but please let me be the person to answer the questions, because you may be giving improper or wrong advice, or it may be good advice, but let me be the one to answer questions. All right. So we also then do finally asylum cases for people who fled their home country because of unrest, political unrest. We also do that. Okay. Uh, Let me see which question she was trying to answer here. I think it depends on the state common law. So I don't know if she's what the question was, but that reminds me, maybe what she was saying. Maybe I don't know exactly. I can't see the question. Maybe the person was trying to answer a question about, okay, can you qualify for VAWA without being married? Yes, in some states you can qualify. For instance, Texas, Alabama, New Hampshire, Colorado. These are some states that will recognize a partnership. That is a long-term relationship you've had with someone, or even with a fiance that never really ended up as a legal marriage, but looks like a marriage, smells like a marriage. Okay. You guys did everything together. You lived together. You had children together. You built businesses together. And therefore you act just as if you are married, yet you're not. So some of these states like Texas, again, Alabama, New Hampshire, Colorado, uh, if you've been abused by a partner, okay, someone you just live with, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, you've had children together but never legally married, not your husband, not your wife, but this person is abusive to you or toxic to you, you could, in some states, still be able to file for VAWA. And if this sounds like you or someone you know, you need to give me a call. All right. So that's what we do. Now let me take these last two questions. Hello?
Good afternoon. Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
Good.
Good. Thank you for the work you do. I have a really quick question. So I currently have a pending I-751 for over a year now, and I'm qualified for citizenship next month. Is it okay to go ahead and apply for citizenship while the I-751 is still pending?
Yes, you can. In fact, I often do that, but I only do that if I was you after I have an immigration lawyer check and make sure you're not going to have any possible issues. Because if you do that and then they schedule for an interview, usually they're going to determine both your 751 and your citizenship application. And if you had issues, in other words, that prevented you from obtaining a 10-year green card finally, then you're going to get both of them denied at the same time. Yeah. And, basically you have nothing to fall on. So I would only advise it if you're 100. I only do that when I'm 100% sure that there's nothing that USCIS has on my client before I do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty then, no problem. Thank you so much for your help.
Yeah, take care. Bye. Hello? Oh, I didn't add this other person. That was a very good question. I hope y'all got it. Because I don't feel like repeating it. Hello?
Good morning.
Morning.
Hi. So, quick question. On my application for my VAWA, I applied since 2022, and it's only saying that my name has been updated since 2022.
Okay.
So, could you tell me what's the meaning of that, please, and what comes next?
It says what since 2022?
My name has been updated for VAWA petitioner.
Okay, you just talk about what you read on your online status?
Yes.
I think that's exactly what, there's nothing to it other than what they're saying. I guess they updated your name or something. Maybe you sent a name change. Yeah, but that's it.
Okay, so what usually comes after that?
Oh, can you schedule a consultation? Because at first I want to know what kind of case we're talking about.
Oh.
Yeah, and secondly, I've already answered one of your questions. Yeah. Y'all is making that
no problem. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Have a great morning. Bye-bye.
Okay. Okay, last three questions. And I'm going to start answering some TikTok questions. While these people come in, let me answer one question from TikTok. Can you apply for VAWA if your marriage case was denied? Absolutely. You can apply for VAWA at any time, provided you qualify. That is my answer for VAWA. For Mo on TikTok. Yes, you can absolutely apply for VAWA, provided you qualify at any time. It can be, look, it can be even a day before you get deported. You could be in deportation proceedings. ICE could be holding you. I mean, I'm talking about locked up, detained. And you can apply for VAWA even at that time. They could have planned to deport you tomorrow, and you file for VAWA. Provided you qualify, you can file for VAWA, just at any time. Okay, hello? Hello, I'm talking to a person live on IG. I'm ready to answer your question. Hello? Hello?
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, if you were issued an EAD from when you filed your marriage-based application, but it wasn't delivered, it was directed back to the USCIS, and now you're doing VAWA, how long, will it affect you getting a new card, being that they already issued one from that, but you just didn't get it?
Wait, you issued an EAD from a separate case?
It's the same case, but it was from the original filing. When you just got married, you do a marriage-based green card. You file for that.
Okay, so what's your question? Now maybe I'm missing something.
Okay, maybe I'm saying it wrong, but I'm trying my best to explain it.
Okay.
So I'm saying, does it affect you getting another one after your VAWA case was reapproved, since you didn't get it the first time? They issued one, but it wasn't delivered.
Okay, so your I-360 has now been approved, is what you're saying?
Well, it's not approved. It was pre-approved.
Pre-approved. Okay, then yeah, you'll still be able to get another EAD then.
Yeah, but I'm asking, does it affect the time frame that you get it?
No, nothing. Time frame has nothing to do with that. Usually it's just whenever they get to your application, and it depends on how many applications they have before you. That's why it's taking about 6 months to get our work done. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, bye. I hope I answered your question. I'm not even still sure. But okay, bye. Okay, guys, let me answer some questions here on TikTok. Can you file for your spouse? Can you file for VAWA even if you never lived together? That's a really great question. You need to have lived together at some point, even if it's a week, even if it's a month, to file for VAWA. That's typically what I say. You need to have lived together at some point. It could be present, past. Okay, it could be in the past, it could be in the present, but at some point you guys need to have lived together. Because remember, even though VAWA is based on the problems in a marriage, it's still based on a marriage. So we still have to show that you and Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so were actually married. And married people actually live together at some point at least, right? Marriages look so different now in 2024. Sometimes one spouse works out of town. The dynamics have really changed. But at some point, you have to show you live together. I would say even just at least a week, a month. You have to show you live together at some point. That's what I'll say. Okay. And, there's no set requirement of how long you need to live together. You just need to show you have lived together. And, of course, you evidence that with joint documents, leases, utility bills, bank accounts, something from even maybe you guys live with a brother, a sister, or someone, a friend who can write a statement showing you guys live together. But, yeah, generally, you need to have lived together at some point. You don't need to be living together at the time we file for VAWA. But at some point, even if it's a week again, a few weeks, a month, you should have lived together, and it would help. Okay. I want to answer one more question for TikTok, and then I'll answer one question on IG again, and we'll be done. I'm based in Tennessee. We're based in Tennessee. Someone just asked that. We're based in Tennessee, but we do all 50 states. We handle all 50 states. As long as it's immigration, we got you, baby. Call me. There used to be a video I did a long time ago on TikTok where I said, Call me. He was real popular. Anyway, let's see. Uh, Hi, attorney. My vow was approved 5 months after applying. Congratulations. That's someone telling me here on TikTok. Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations. We had a case recently in April. I think it was in May or June. One of our cases was approved after 4 months. We got a whole vow approval in 4 months. A green card. We applied for a green card and got it within 4 months. That was crazy. Crazy miracle, So although I say things are taking longer, please don't ever say that that's going to be you. Always believe for the best, because this lady, I'm telling you, I'm sure she didn't think she'd be the person getting a green card in 4 months with VAWA. So it's possible. It's very possible. And even with asylum, I always talk about how asylum are the longest cases. Asylum could take 1 to 7 years. I mean, it could take forever. They could take so long. But I'm still the same person who comes down here and gives testimonies about, like, for instance, one of our asylum cases last year, and this was an immigration court. We got her asylum approved in 8 months. The year before, we had one approved in 6 months. Okay, so miracles happen, and your situation is always different. And while I'm on this note, let me just talk to some people, because I know some of my clients are watching. What you think matters. The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. I've said this so many times in my lives. I've said this to my clients, and people never really listen to me. But if you can hear me out, it will really help you if you ever have to do any immigration process or anything that's outside of your control, where you're waiting on the government. I'm telling you, how you think matters. I always use this analogy that my party clients, the guys or the girls who are always clubbing every week at the club, like those party, everybody has those clients that are partiers, the party clients. Those clients always get their stuff so fast, so easy. Like, in other words, their mind is not even on the immigration process. Their mind is on living life and having fun. Their stuff always comes so fast. But it's always the person that's worried something is going to go wrong, something is going bad. I haven't heard from immigration in a month. That means something is going wrong with my case. I get all sorts of emails from clients sometimes. I haven't heard anything from you guys in a month. I haven't heard anything from you guys in 2 months. Is something going wrong? Is something going wrong? For people who are like that, I'm sorry to say, and I'm not dissing you when I say this. For people like that, usually what ends up happening is their cases take longer. Then the person who's chilled, relaxed, even forgot that they have an immigration lawyer, even forgot that they have a process going on, that this person is out there partying or traveling the world. All right. As soon as maybe we get them a travel permit, this person is going here, going there, going here, going there, going to this country, going to this country. It is just often my surprise and my observation that those people's green cards come so fast. And the end of their process always comes much faster than the person who's worried. So I'm not saying don't stay on your P's and Q's. Yes, do check. Make sure you have a good immigration lawyer, because the people who are out there partying and just trusting that they have a good lawyer, I mean, it only works out for them because we are on top of things, right? Like, if we weren't on top of things that would be bad, right? But, stay on top of your things, but don't let it bother you. Try. I know it's so hard. Don't let it sit on you. Don't let it be like you can't sleep if you're not hearing anything from immigration. Because the moment those fears set in your mind, it's like a reaction. And it's like things will always go according to your fears. So many clients have told me, I fear this is going to happen. And I tell them, no, it's not going to happen like that. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to go well. And if they keep saying that, don't you know, no matter how positive I am, that what they fear usually ends up happening. The Bible says what I feared. Job said, what I feared has happened to me. There's a literal scripture that says what I feared has happened to me. So what you fear, somehow, if you continue to fear it and you don't check those fears, they end up coming to reality. And this is just, I'm preaching today. This is just really a lesson for all of us in everything we're waiting on. Because I always tell my clients, everybody's got to wait for something, for someone or something in life. At some point, life is just made that way. You're going to wait for something in life. For some people, we wait for spouses, we wait for marriages, right? For some people, we wait for children. Some people can't have children just when they want to have children. They have to wait, maybe do IVF. Maybe it's years later after they get married so they have children. Some people have to wait for a green card. Maybe this is a thing in your life where you just have to wait many, many years. Some people have to wait for, I don't know, name it, but you're going to wait for something or someone in life. You're going to wait. It's just part of life, and it's going to happen. And it always happens at the most unexpected time. And, if I can encourage you and us all, is that when you take your mind off the wait, things happen for you much faster. When you take off your mind off what you're waiting for, and then just enjoy life, enjoy your everyday, you'll notice the time, first of all, goes by faster, but God actually works faster on your behalf. When you're patient, when your mind is off those things, and when you trust Him, when you trust the process. Okay, so if you have an immigration lawyer, any lawyer, do check behind your lawyer, because your lawyer is just a human being and they could make mistakes. Do check your documents. Do check behind your lawyer. But by all means, at some point, take your mind off and say, God, look, I trust this process. I trust that, look, you have told me I'm going to have a green card, and I trust my times are in your hands, and I trust it's going to happen. And I trust that, look, nothing is going to go wrong. Okay. And I trust that if anything goes wrong, you'll fix it for me, Jesus. Affirm yourself in the word of God, and affirm yourself that, look, things will go well for me. Even the lady I told y'all about that got her green card in 4 months, she was never stressing us out, y'all. I'm telling you. I know for a fact she didn't think she was going to get her green card in 4 months, but she did. And there's other people that I think about 2-3 years ago, we got one in 3 months. That person too didn't think they were going to get their green card in 3 months. But what's the difference between the person that got their green card in 3 months or 4 months versus the person that got their green card in quite some time later? I won't tell you how long it takes. I just think it's probably mindset and the blessings of God, really. It's not like you worrying or staying on, it's not like you worrying is going to make you get things faster or better. The Bible says, which one of you by worrying will, how does it say? Can't remember how it says, but basically it says, which one of you by worrying will make things get better? You don't. And, it talks about how God feeds the birds of the air. How much more will He provide for you? So worrying, it just does nothing, absolutely nothing for us. And I'm talking to y'all. Don't think I'm just talking to you. I'm talking to myself too. Because like I said, we all wait for something. And there's no perfect person. And I'm here to tell you. Let me tell you right now, I'm sitting at a place where most people want to sit at, and most people think I have no worries. Trust me. There'll always be something to worry you if you let it. It's just kind of how it is. Life, just how life is built. There's always going to be something for you to worry about. So you might as well make up your mind that, look, you're going to do what you can that's in your power. And you're going to leave the rest to God, and you're going to trust the process. And you're going to trust that good things do come to you, because whatever you believe is going to come to you. That's what happens. Yeah, that's what happens. I still remember one of my most party clients. Like, God don't care nothing about nobody. Just never cares. His process went so smooth, so easy, so fast. He just never had any problems. Dude has no care in the world. Barely ever calls to check on his case. I'm not saying do that, but I'm just saying his mindset is his mind is never on his green card. Dude has no care in the world. And guess what? His stuff came in easy. His green card came in easy. There was never any issues. So just food for thought for all of us, food for thought. Let me answer one more question on TikTok and then on Instagram, and then we're done, y'all. Let's see. I hope this helped y'all. I really, really do hope this helped y'all. Let's see. Can you file for VAWA for if your partner has been cheating? Yes. Um, let me just summarize again what kind of things qualify you for VAWA. I always say that you qualify for VAWA whether you've experienced more common problems all the way to extreme abuse. More common problems are things like a spouse cheating on you. This is common in 2024. A spouse or partner cheating on you. I say partner because VAWA applies to people who are not legally married in some states, okay, like Texas, Alabama, New Hampshire. So if your spouse or your partner has been cheating on you, has thrown you outside of the house, it makes important decisions without your consent. These are the more common marital problems. Uh, Curses you out. Sadly, these are common. Beats you or throws things at you. These are the more common marital problems these days. You know, what else? Always threatens to call immigration on you or threatens to get you deported. These are common, sadly, in 2024. All right, all the way to more extreme things like your spouse held a big secret, something they should have told you about themselves, like their sexual orientation or like them fathering a child or having a child with someone else outside of their marriage or before you got there and you find out after the marriage, big secrets or like their mental health. So if your spouse held a big secret against you, uh, sorry, that a big secret, something big that you kind of needed to know before marriage, and you find out after the marriage. These are some of the more extreme things that could qualify you for marriage for vow. Also, your mental state. Have you changed as a person? Your social, your social skills. Did you used to be like an extrovert? Now you're an introvert. Like did this marriage completely just change you? And you could literally, you can even look at yourself and you see yourself looking as a fraction of who you used to be. These are usually indicators that you could call it very well qualify for VAWA. Okay. And of course there's the more extreme things like a spouse beating, biting, choking, slapping you, a spouse disappearing on you multiple times, okay, or for a long time, or a spouse cheating on you multiple times. So they didn't just cheat once. Sadly, cheating once is common, right? But they cheat multiple times. You find your spouse, your spouse is just, the street person to sleep with. Your spouse is out there. If any of these things sound like what you've experienced, whether on the more common side or the more extreme side, then definitely you could qualify for VAWA. So, guys, I think I've extended my time and I've been here literally close to an hour. I talked about so many great things today. Why people hire me, I'm so thorough in all that I do, so thorough. And I gave an example of a conversation I had yesterday that was supposed to take 30 minutes, and I took an hour and a half with the guy. And the guy had flown in from a different state, and I made sure he got what he needed and much more. And I talked about how he was an elderly man, and he just kept looking at me like, shocked, like a young female lawyer could be so thorough and could be the person that gave him what he's been looking for 4 years. Right, he's had an ongoing process for 4 years. He has had some difficulties with some documents he got from Nigeria, and the solutions I gave him, he just kept looking at me. Literally, this is how he kept looking at me. Said his eyes were just really wide, and he finally said what he was thinking. He said, "Wow, you're Val Queen." He just said, "Wow, Val Queen, you're so thorough. You're so thorough. You're so thorough." Anyway, earlier I talked about how that's the same way I teach even my staff to be thorough, and that's why we have the reputation we have. We try to be very thorough with you, thorough with your solutions, thorough with why you should do a task, thorough with why you should not do something. We try to communicate very, very thoroughly. And with that, I think I'll leave it there. And of course, also I'll talk to y'all about how the people's sadly but funnily the clients that I have, the ones who don't care anything, and they party every day. I mean, literally don't even sometimes almost like they don't even know or don't remember they have a green card case. Those are the people who get their green card so easily and their process goes so smooth. And I told you, please always check behind your lawyer and check behind your law firm, right? Because we are all human beings. We could make an error, right? But but outside of you doing your due diligence, I've really seen the testaments, or yeah, I've seen the results of people who just almost have like it's like not on their mind. They're not worried about it. They're not worried that anything is gonna go wrong, and therefore nothing goes wrong. I've seen that for a fact. Like, you know how the Bible says, "A man, so as a man thinketh, so is he." You know, you can think that stuff is fiction, but when you practice immigration law, you see it in real life. Like a person's mindset really affects everything. And you know, with that, I'll stop preaching. I leave all of us, including me, with that word. That look, our mindset affects everything. So, is there anything you're waiting for in life right now? It doesn't even have to be papers. Some of you listening to me, you already have your green card, you already have your citizenship, but maybe you're waiting on something else in life. I mean, I think we can all talk to each other. We can all stand to talk to each other and tell ourselves, like, look, take your mind off. And when you take your mind off these things just happen great for us. They do. When we take our minds off of it, that's when things go well. All right, guys. Love y'all. Bye. Take care. Please share. And then I'll see you maybe next week. Bye. Alrighty. Let's see. Yeah. Yes. To answer the question to this person on Facebook, yes. Let me answer this quick question before I go. Yes, you can qualify for VAWA even if it's just been 2 months. It doesn't matter how long you've gone through it. What matters is what you did go through. So if what you did go through is real and is true, that's what matters. Please give me a call. My answer to Valine, you need to give me a call. Give me a call, Valine. This is the answer to you. All right. Thank you. Bye, guys.